Good Sunday morning. It's time for the North Carolina Vinyl Picker here, and it's cold here in North Carolina. I had to wear my hat this morning, and I'm going to show you a few things that I got in the mail this week. I did not get out to any record stores or record show was yesterday in Charlotte. I did not go to that, so I've just been kind of laying low and just getting a few things in the mail. And I got the top 10 from 1986. So stay tuned for that at the end of the show here. So the first thing I want to show you is the new Steven Wilson 7-inch single. It's called December Skies. And it comes with a couple of Christmas cards from Steven. It's got this one here. And it has this one here. Oh. This one here, and has a nice, I'd rather drop the card than a 45. And it's got a nice 45, and comes in this little Christmas box set. And that was real nice for Steven to come out with that for Christmas. And it's a really nice song. You can stream it, or if you're a Porcupine Tree fan or a Steven Wilson fan, you're going to want to pick one of these up because I'm sure it's going to be a limited time thing. I also picked up this 45 online, Tori Amos. This is Crucify. It's a UK. Got a good deal on that. I got this one here, David Gilmour, Arnold Lane with David Bowie and Richard Wright. It's got a lot of gloss, sorry about that. So this one here is going to get played today. I'm looking forward to giving that a spin. And this was a holdover from last week. I showed this to John, and but I forgot to show it last week. So there you go. It's PFM, and it's The World Became the World. It's an Italian pressing of this, or no, a Japanese pressing of an Italian band, I should say. And this is a great find. I found it online, and the guy had like, I don't know, $5 on it. And he had less, as like $3 to ship it or something. So I acted pretty quick, and nobody else, probably not a lot of PFM fans out there, I suppose. This album here is a prog psychedelic fuzz guitar band that I heard about on the vinyl community. And they're called SRC, and they're a fusion band, but they're really good. So if you're into the fusion and psych music, give them a listen, and then you might want to pick this album up. It wasn't that spendy. This one here is the Zamrock Masterpiece from 1975, which everybody seems to be showing. Lazy Bones by Witch. And this album is really good too. A lot of fuzz guitar and got that early 70s sound. So that's another great pickup this week. And this one here, this is another band that I've been getting into. A lot of people have been showing different stuff like Psychic Derek and people like that in the vinyl community. And I want to welcome everybody in the vinyl community as well. Kind of got a quick start this morning. So this band's called Asia Minor. And these guys here are a fusion outfit. I really don't know much about them, but I've been streaming this album on my Apple. So it really sounds really good. And it's from the 70s also. And it's called Crossing the Line. So I picked this one up. So I've been selling my CDs. And once I sell 4 or 5 CDs, I keep that money in PayPal. And then I am able to pick up one of these albums, because these reissue albums, sometimes they go for anywhere between $30 to $35 to $40 a piece. So once I sell off some CDs that I don't listen to anymore, and then I can go ahead and pick up some of these albums. This one here, I picked up from a guy in Florida, and it's Kate Bush, and this is Rubber Band Girl. This album here is the picture disc of this. And I haven't taken it out of the plastic yet, but I'm going to right now. I'm glad to have this. This is one of her less expensive picture discs to get, because this was on her album Eat the Music. I think that was it was one of her later albums and wasn't that successful. So some of her, the 45 from this, the 12-inch single and the 12-inch picture disc are not that expensive. I think it was like $10 or something. So I was able to find that online for cheap. Now I'll be looking, I have the 45, so now I'll be looking for the 45 picture disc. So there you go. So on to 1986. 1986 was an interesting year because I was getting ready to, I was down in Florida and I was on board the USS Stark, and I was getting ready to get off the ship the following year. I would be getting off the ship and going over to the Philippines in 1987. So it was an interesting time in my life, and that's about all I'm going to say about that. But here we go on 1986, starting off at number 10. Now this is an album that I recently got into. I didn't listen to this album back in 1986, but I recently got into it and I picked it up for about $5. And I like all of Jackson Browne's stuff. And this is an album called Lives in the Balance. And actually, this is when I voted here back a couple months ago. I put my sticker on here. It's kind of apropos, I guess. And there you go. It was a it's a great album. It's got the song it's called America or something like that on here. For America. It's a good song. Coming in at number 9. This is a favorite of John's. And this was Lyle Mays. This is his first solo album. Breaking away from the Pat Metheny group and doing his solo thing. And he made a couple solo albums. He has since passed away. But Lyle Mays, a great artist in its own right. And if you're into EMI, ECM records, Geffen records, jazz, light jazz, Pat Metheny in particular, the Pat Metheny group, you might want to pick up Lyle Mays' solo albums. It's really good. Coming in at number 8. Bill Bruford, Jeff Berlin joined with Kasumi Watanabe. And this album is called The Spice of Life. Picked this one up for $4. Now Berlin and Bruford made 2 albums with Kasumi, and Kasumi is an incredible artist, Japanese artist. And these albums here, if you love fusion jazz, then you would love these albums. There was also, excuse me, there's also a video of this online. It might be on YouTube. I saw a Laserdisc one day. I was down in Hickory, North Carolina, at the Hickory Antique Mall, and he has the Laserdisc of this, but he wanted like $40 for it. I don't even have a Laserdisc player anymore, but I've seen the video, and I think I have a video, a VHS copy of it somewhere, but it's probably on YouTube. So check out Kasumi. If you like Bill Bruford and you like fusion jazz and you like Jeff Berlin from the Bruford band, then you would definitely love this album here, Kasumi Watanabe. And there's a second album, but I'll probably be showing here in another week or so when I get through the 80s. Because the 80s were kind of lean for me as far as music goes. I really wasn't into the 80s scene. I was still listening to bands from the 70s, that were trying to get through the 80s. Coming in at number 7, I suppose, is the Moody Blues. And this is a band, like I say, they were trying to perform and move into the 80s with their sound and the new sound, leaving their past behind. And I've seen them many times. I saw the Moody Blues. I've seen them with my nephew. I've seen them with my friend John. I've seen them with lots of people. I probably saw them just about more than any other band that I can think of, except for Yes, maybe. This is The Other Side of Life. And this is a great album. This is coming in at number 7. they had some hits on here, Your Wildest Dreams, and Talking Out of Turn, or Talking, John Lodge. And it's a really nice album. If you're into the Moody Blues, and they made music right up into the 90s. Coming in at number 6, this got to be Bruford. And this is Master Strokes, and this is featuring Alan Holdsworth again and Jeff Berlin, 1978 to 1985. And this is just basically a best of his solo stuff that he did with his band. And this is a really good album. And I think there's even a song on here he did with, what's that guy's name? Patrick Moraz. There's a song on here, what he did with Patrick Moraz as well. Coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 5 is Back in the High Life, Steve Winwood. Yes, great album. This album was all over the radio back in 1986. And when I say 85, I meant 86. And this album, like I say, was all over the radio back in the High Life. Me and John, my friend John, we seen him, but we saw him later than this album. But I was glad to have seen Steve Winwood in my lifetime. Back in the High Life again, of course, Freedom, Overspill, Higher Love. He had about 5 hits on this album. This was huge back in 1986. Trying to get the glare off of there. I got these plastic covers on here. Coming in at number 4. And this is an album that I always listened to, but I never had the vinyl of. I think I had it on CD, maybe on cassette. I don't remember listening to it, but I remember really liking this album, Paul Simon, Graceland. This is a really nice album. And the one he did after this one, The Saints, and then Hearts and Bones was, I think, before this one. But he did some really good stuff in the late 70s through the 80s and then into the 90s. He's just an exceptional artist and a songwriter. So Graceland comes in at number 4. And, of course, it's got The Boy in the Bubble and Diamonds on the Sole of Her Shoes. And there's just so many hits on here. He probably had 4 hits on this album. Coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, Genesis was trying to be relevant in 1986. And they came out with The Invisible Touch. And talk about hits. They had about 5 hits on this album. Of course, they had Visible Touch, Tonight, 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 Land of Confusion with those puppets, and they had Into Deep, and then side B, they had Domino. They had that's kind of like a throwback to their old sound. They got the Brazilian, which is a instrumental, Throwing It All Away. Anything She Does, man, just hit after hit after hit, and they were just trying to be relevant, like I said, in the 80s, trying to leave the past behind. But they always had like one song on every album after, after Abacab, that just kind of reflected back to their past. And then the rest of the album was getting more pop oriented. They were just trying to make some quick money before they retired, I'm sure. Coming in at number 2, here's another album. And the next 2 are the same. 86 was, these albums are powerful. They made a ton of money. And this is Kate Bush, and this is her best of, really. This is the whole story. And this is like her Wuthering Heights, Cloud Busting, Man with a Child in His Eyes, Breathing, Hounds of Love. They just put all her hits into one album, and this album sold millions. So there you go. Miss Kate Bush. Coming in at number 2. Coming in at number 1, this album here was a mega hit for Peter Gabriel. This was So. And this has Sledgehammer on here, Red Rain, Don't Give Up, That Voice Again. What else on here? In Your Eyes, Mercy Street, Big Time, We Do What We're Told. Just a great album. I remember driving around. I can't remember where I was. I must have been up in Florida somewhere in Jacksonville area, probably going to a record store or something, and I heard this on the radio heard Sledgehammer on the radio for the first time. I was blown away. I couldn't believe it was Peter Gabriel, doing this song. Just out of the ordinary for him, even with this album. But they he really hit it on the head with this. With Daniel Lanos was the man that produced this album, and he was like a hit maker back then. And Gabriel just took off with this album and just did wonderful. I'm sure he made a ton of money with this album. So there you go. There's your top 10 from 1986. For those of you that were around, what were your best records of 1986? Please write them down below in the comment section below. I'm going to be pre-recording my video for this coming Wednesday. I'll be away for a couple of days next week. So, yeah. So send the picker some love when you get a chance, and I'll be talking to y'all soon. I will see you next weekend. I'm going to try to get out and find something or get something in the mail. It's going to be slim pickings this week, just to let you all know. But I'll do what I can and try to bring something to the table to show all you boys and girls out there. And I know you're all out there shopping for Christmas, so be safe out there. Buy lots of presents and get the little kids something. We'll be talking to you soon, and don't forget to support them troops. And we'll be talking to you soon. I will pre-record my show for Wednesday, and I'll be on Wednesday, but it won't be live like on the same day. I'll see you next weekend. Take care, and bye for now.